Crazy stuff.
And Jeff, actually, this deck came from a good friend of his on the Canadian scene who got a top 8 finish at the North American International Championships with this list in particular. So Jeff himself may not have the history of accomplishments in the Pokemon card game, but he has plenty of friends who have helped him along the way. And you know what? This is all that matters. He's earned his spot here in the finals. And now it's time to get this match underway.
All right, let's do it. Masters Division Finals here at the 2018 Pokemon TCG World Championships between Robin Schultz and Jeff Kolenk. And Robin going to start off perfectly here, playing a Mysterious Treasure for that Tapu Lele GX, getting the turn 1 Bridget. This is a perfect start to Robin's finals match here.
Playing 3 copies of the Bridget into the deck. This is exactly what he wants to see on turn 1, and getting a chance to attach energy before his opponent as well is going to be a very powerful start for Robin here.
Yeah, and an interesting thing about Robin's deck list, he plays 0 Ultra Ball. That is a card we see 4 of in almost every single deck, but he plays 0. He instead plays 4 Mysterious Treasure, perhaps valuing just not having to discard 2 cards with Ultra Ball as opposed to just discarding 1 for Mysterious Treasure. It still searches out Tapu Lele GX, which is probably the most important thing to find on the first turn of the game. And then he plays 3 Evo Soda, but just blew my mind. There's no Ultra Ball in this deck.
It does seem like a really risky decision to make because Mysterious Treasure can't search out Zorua, can't search out Zoroark. Of course, it can get you the Tapu Lele, the Trubbish, and the Garbodor, but if he does not have a Zorua setup and an Evo Soda for that Zoroark, it could be a little bit more difficult for Robin to get Zoroark online and get those trades going as early as possible. But clearly, he hasn't run into any issues with it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought this list.
Yeah, Jeff also playing 4 Mysterious Treasure in his deck. That one makes a little bit more sense. He's running a deck full of Psychic Pokemon. Interestingly enough, he only plays 1 Tapu Lele GX in his deck. And if it happens to be in his prize cards, this could be a bad opening for him as he is searching through quite a bit.
He has a very teched out version of this Psychic Malamar build with just single copies of so many Pokemon: Dawnwings Necrozma, Mewtwo GX, Necrozma GX, that Tapu Lele or Anguru with the Instructability, as well as the Giratina that is intended to counter Greninja builds, and the Mimikyu with that filch attack.
So Jeff starting off with this Mewtwo GX, and this is actually a pretty important card in this matchup. We saw this a little bit at the North American International Championships with Adam Hawkins. Mewtwo GX, its attacks aren't very intimidating besides Psystrike GX, but what it can do early on is go after Trubbish and Garbodor. The key to this matchup is Garbotoxin Garbodor on Robin's side. And Mewtwo with its full burst or super absorption attacks can take down those Trubbish and Garbodor early if Jeff's able to find Guzma.
It is going to be absolutely necessary. If Robin does get the Garbotoxin Garbodor online early, then all of Jeff's energy acceleration from the Psychic Recharge ability of Malamar is going to be shut off. And there are only 2 field blowers in Jeff's deck.
Goodness. Robin already with 2 Zoroark GX in play. And a Floatstone on Trubbish. Looks like this is going to be an excellent turn 2 from Robin. Follows it up with an N. If he can find that Garbotoxin Garbodor.
这次的决赛是由 Robin Schultz 对上 Jeff Kolenk， Robin Schultz 是用的是那个索罗灰尘，然后另外一边使用的是由于超能系的 box， Pro box。
So 1 field blower available in the deck, 3 Guzma
基本上只要会单锁起来了，那
could be a little bit difficult for Jeff to bring up that Garbodor and actually knock it out to resume Psychic Recharging onto the bench. Mysterious Treasure can
裁判很仔细，叫他把那个牌组放回去原本的位置上面。
Of Robin's trades here with Zoroark GX. This is one of the most powerful cards in the Pokemon TCG right now. A very simple ability. Discard a card, draw 2 cards. And at first glance, that doesn't seem very exciting, but then you go, oh, I have 2 of these in play. I can do it twice. And as we're going to see Robin do, oh, Town Map has been played.
他用 Port Town 了，他用 Map 可以看东西了。 我觉得在这边然后放一个 full time map 真的是一个 time map 真的是一个蛮那个聪明的做法哦，因为表示我想做，我真的是很轻松想做什么。索罗本身就已经什么都可以开了，什么可以拿了，整个牌都拿到手上了，他连奖励卡都想要拿在手上。OK， 他开了，他应该会选择索罗。那个还没打算这么快要来锁灰尘山的事情全部做完之后再开始。
A field blower to knock off that float stone. He's not going to be able to use Psychic Recharge, even if he has the Malamar.
Okay.
You see the slow zoom out. Look at that. You can see the prize cards face up for Robin. And the only thing missing on this turn is double colorless energy. He's going to try to trade one more time and find that energy card, but looks like he did not find it. So even though he drew a lot of cards this turn, an N for 6, 3 trades for 6 more cards, unable to find double colorless energy.
All right, so we have an N, 2 Evo Sodas, a Field Blower, and a Parallel City in the prizes for Robin. I hate to say I didn't catch the 6th one. I was too busy writing them down.
The lock has been established. Turn 2 Garbotoxin for Robin. So no Psychic Recharge available for Jeff at this point. He's going to need to find Guzma to go after that Garbodor with his Mewtwo, or he needs to find the single Field Blower that's left in his deck. This is a terrible position for him to be in right now.
So much pressure. So early from Robin, and Jeff does take a fair amount of time to set up, and as well, the choice that he's made to put in so many single copies of these Pokemon to have all of these tech choices for various matchups means that he doesn't have an incredibly consistent attacker. He doesn't really have a primary attacker that he wants to Psychic Recharge to in every game. It's going to vary based on the game. We do see he has a pair of Marshadow GX in the deck, which with its ability can copy the attacks of basic Pokemon in your discard pile. And then that fighting type, of course, makes it excellent against Zoroark. So very likely that Jeff is going to want to find that Marshadow at some point and make use of that. But for now, he is going to go that Lunala Prism Star, which you said was very powerful for him earlier on in the tournament.
He used it in both top 8 and top 4. It's a Psystorm for big knockouts, and it's going to be huge for him in this match as well. One of the ways you can still get energy in play, well, he did draw his Field Blower, but if you are unable to get your abilities back, you can use that Full Moon Star attack and get a bunch of Psychic Energy from the discard onto your Pokemon. It usually ends up with Lunala Prism Star getting knocked out because it does have a weakness to darkness, but it's usually worth it. If you can get 3 or 4 energy, it's huge.
吹风机它吹掉了 ，OK， 那吹风机吹完之后，他就可以做了，这样他就有机会可以继续做他的事情。有没有办法在这一turn的时候做完，杀掉对手的？没办法杀掉对手的是灰尘山的时间，看先处理掉一个。处理掉一个索罗哈，对手的索罗已经有3个，处理掉的话会稍微轻松很多。虽然灰尘山在那个位置上面直接是更麻烦，没有错。不知道他手上有古芝麻的话，就可以把灰尘山当做下一turn的目标。
Very, very important. Zoroark's ability stacks in strength. The more Zoroark you have, the better it is. So by taking out one very quickly, taking a quick 2 prize card lead, Jeff then puts himself in a rather favorable position moving forward. And we do see he finds that Marshadow. Likely going to see Psychic Recharge attaching a couple Psychic Energy onto that Marshadow this turn.
Yeah, and Marshadow GX is in this deck almost strictly because of Zoroark GX. Even though Marshadow GX will be copying the attacks of Psychic Pokemon, it itself is a fighting type Pokemon, so it's going to hit that Zoroark GX for weakness and get a one-hit knockout.
OK， 他现在在这个时候
So there we do see Jeff taking the first knockout here in the finals.
好，达到一个首杀哈，大师赛的第一个首杀就这样拿下来了。
That's important because he did have a Field Blower in his prizes. If he was able to find it there off of the prize draws, then the next tool card that Robin attaches to that Garbodor will just be blown away.
Yep. One of the unfortunate parts of Marshadow GX is it has 150 HP. So against Zoroark GX, if you have a full bench, 6 Pokemon in play, plus a choice band, they can actually use Riotous Beating for a knockout. So a lot of the time, Marshadow GX is taking a big knockout, but then immediately getting knocked out in return.
Trading away that unit energy. Important to note, Robin is playing the Kartana GX. Its ability Slice Off can remove a special energy from your opponent's side of the board. And then you do have Blade GX to immediately take a prize card for 1 metal energy. So that's why you're seeing the unit energy in this deck. It's a dual psychic and metal type.
Robin was able to draw into double colorless energy this turn, so he can power up Zoroark GX if he wants to. He also has an N in hand and a choice band. Looks like he's going to trade one more time before making any decisions. Trying to sequence things.
目的有普奈，他抽气的时候已经丢掉了，对，所以没有问题。他抽气的时候其实是已经丢掉了。
There's choice band, and he's actually just going to play Bridget for the turn. Fill up his bench so he can use Riotous Beating for that one hit knockout.
他再做了2只，因为他怕下回合对手会杀掉。如果他机车点，这个时候他做，哦对，没错，他做了2只，会成3号，给对手压力哈。
Take 2 prizes of his own. And now Jeff will need to be sending in another attacker. He's got the Lunala Prism Star on the bench, which can accelerate energy, or you have that Mewtwo GX as well.
The big question is, does Robin have another Pokemon tool card to reactivate that Garbotoxin on the bench? If not, Jeff's going to have an opportunity to get another Marshadow GX into play and take another 2 prize cards.
I do want to say there's a Float Stone in hand for Robin, I believe. Yep, right there, the first card in his hand. So we'll see if he wants to attach that. He does.
And there we go. Robin with the perfect answer here, taking out that Marshadow GX, tying up the game at 4 prizes apiece. And if Jeff did not get that Field Blower out of his prize cards, he's going to be in some trouble.
We see Robin, because he played Town Map earlier on, knows exactly what he's getting from his prizes. Takes Cynthia in Parallel City, leaving 2 Evo Sodas, a Field Blower, and an N.
So Jeff has an interesting spot here. He has Guzma in hand, as well as a Psychic Energy. He could go after that Garbotoxin Garbodor. The alternative option would be attached to Lunala Prism Star, play Professor Sycamore, and try to get something else in place so you can Full Moon Star and get a bunch of energy out. We'll see what he decides to go with.
好，他丢鬼龙。
Acrobike sending the Giratina promo to the discard pile. Not a very relevant card in this matchup. And Jeff is still trying to decide. Looks like he is committing
他可能会想要用第1招来帮超梦，或者是其他来充能，或者是帮他自己充能。毕竟全场能量这件事情是蛮好的，可是160对手其实是打太穿的。现在目前的状态对手是打不太穿的。
Looks like he is going to use it here, putting an energy on his Malamar.
好，让他招式来充能的话，哦，他可能想要下回合开古之马哈。来杀对面的那个一级之上，还谢谢北极熊订阅。
Attached to both the Mewtwo and the Malamar on the bench, prep either of those Pokemon to be able to come up and take a knockout. And it really is kind of surprising that Lunala Prism Star is not more popular, because you're seeing the incredible power of this Pokemon. Basic Pokemon, 160 hit points, which is very high. The ability to accelerate energy and take massive knockouts in a meta where
这个时候他的牌组里面只有1张吹风机，那真的会很亏哈，那表示他解决不了现在场上的那一只会成3。
That's why we haven't seen the card too much, but you can see why it's so powerful. Just like that, Jeff powered up a bunch of Pokemon, but even after that, I have to think Robin feels like he's in a pretty good position. His opponent didn't put any pressure on him. He's going to be able to take another prize card this turn if he wants. So far, this game has been dominated by Robin.
That first Marshadow hasn't been knocked out so quickly.
理论上是2-1，这就是全部了。这就是全部他所有的那个。
And if he doesn't have that Field Blower, he will not be able to Psychic Recharge, and then his game plan is kind of out the window.
他开了 N 的原因是因为他觉得对手这样接可能是手上有芝麻，下回可以来杀他的那个的灰尘3号。
So he's going to play this N, reset both players to 4 cards in hand, and go for the rightist beating knockout. And Jeff's going to be in a terrible position. He has nothing good.
超梦贴2颗的原因很简单，是因为手牌就算他想要用狙杀，手牌只要有就可以贴。然后他开2颗的话，就是对手如果抓他出来打60，基本上也是可以补的血，就是打60补血是没有问题的。补血真的是这一支狙杀超梦的一个优点，方便，然后打后面这些灰尘3都很方便。打得死吗
？That Garbotoxin Garboter just disrupting his game plan too significantly. He is going to promote
打得死
Malamar without any energy on it.
That Lunala Prism Star does need to go to the lost zone.
可是Lunala 不是160。
That's one of their caveats. When they are removed from play, you do not get access to them again.
Yep, can't rescue Stretcher that back. Not that you necessarily want to, but you can't do it. So Jeff here, he's promoting this Malamar with no energy on it. He has Guzma in hand. I think he has to go after the Garbotoxin Garboter on the bench. There's really no other way he can continue to power up his attackers, but even if he does that, Robin's at 3 prizes. If he knocks out Malamar, he's down to 2.
对，他是怕2哈，我想起来了，就是2倍也是忘记了，刚看了想一下。他是怕2的哈，月神是怕2的哈。弱点是2，所以是被打2倍。OK， 看一下，想起来。抓这条一只出来，是吧？他先抓这一只。OK。
Yeah, I think Jeff realizing if I knock out that trash land, Garbotoxin Garboter, my opponent gets access to trade again. And if that's the case, they're probably just going to keep finding energy to power up Trash Avalanche, and this game is going to be over very quickly. So Jeff doing whatever he can to give himself a chance in this game. There is some chance that Robin just doesn't have the cards he needs, that he's affected by his own ability lock. We'll see if it pays off.
And also, Jeff just doesn't have anything that he wants
他让有石头的灰尘站在前面，好像先开了阻拦，当然是要找寻机会。因为现在稍微有点危险，他不能冒险随便上。要是让超梦这时候开了 G 叉哈，那他前面这一只那个，他如果用那只上去手上去打，说实在是会很亏的状态。那对面的应该已经到，只要他有办法戳到那个人员哈，应该就可以拿来杀超梦。对面的道具量应该是已经够了。哦，有。他可以往前杀掉超梦。
He has just dominated this first game.
Mewtwo GX with that psychic weakness. This Trash Avalanche is more than enough damage to take the knockout. Take 2 prize cards, leaving Robin with just a single prize card remaining. And Robin Schultz has just looked so comfortable this game. He's been going through the motions, playing very confidently. You can tell that he's a seasoned competitor, and it's just another day for him. Very important.
基本上这一盘是去的。
Yeah, probably one of the more important games of Pokemon he's ever played. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you would expect nothing less from a world-class competitor like Robin Schultz. He plays the game a lot. He's got great testing partners. The European players have dominated the Pokemon TCG this season. Whether it was Tord Reklev winning multiple international championships, Stefan Ivanov winning the North America International Championships. It is no surprise to see yet another European player in the finals here at the World Championship. But interestingly enough, Robin would be the first world champion from Germany in the Masters division. So
really?
Yes.
We had another German representative actually in the juniors division
对，真的是基本上被风特性就很难处理的哈，尤其是这一支鱿鱼看起来好像只有一支吹风机，似乎是很笃定自己绝对不会遇到的那种感觉。当然是这种时候就特别需要害怕。那还有几个方法啦，比如说现在这回打死者，下回这回应该不要拼打，这回应该喷睡眠，贴一个能量给他睡眠，其实也是有可能机会的。但是我觉得基本上都是去了啦，因为没有抽到吹风机的话就解不掉特性，解掉特性的话那就把它还有可能再打，但是现在看起来是没有，没得打的话就会就是蛮痛苦的。
I do remember that. Goodness. That was something.
Could be seeing it again.
It didn't work out so well there.
No, it bought him some time. Did not change the outcome of the match, but it could have.
But hey, if you're on Plan Z, but you have Plan Z,
好，
you go for Plan Z.
我大概觉得自己，其实我觉得他大概觉得自己接到就没关系的。
End up turning the game around for you. You owe it to yourself to take that chance. You've made it this far. This is not a game where you are ever going to quit. We're going to see that Inke come up, and it is hypnosis time.
Here we go. If Robin flips heads, he wins. Tails.
是哟，睡眠哦，哎呀。睡眠这种时候看起来就有点像看到冷蛙，泡泡蛙在那边开始给我掷硬币的感觉是一样的、哦。这是蛮酷的、啊。但如果他手上有办法绿到古芝麻的话，那就有可能。哦，看起来是，这样看过去感觉好像是有。
I'm finding a hard time believing that Jeff could even come back.
给他吹掉这个跟他自己的。
Yeah, I mean he still just has nothing.
对他吹掉自己的，他为了要来绿。他为了要绿东西开始的话，他来绿东西的。
Yeah, he could even get a third Zorak, and there we see Guzma.
OK， 他是古芝麻了。
Game number 1 here in the finals.
为了要滤出芝麻，直接把自己吹掉，他就这一招不打白不打，直接拼下去的。
He was the number 1 seed heading into top cut, and he is now one more game away from being crowned world champion.
A 5-0-2 record going into the top 8 yesterday has not dropped a game in that top 8 cut. Now potentially we could be seeing Robin Schultz as an undefeated record.
这个时间还有那么多人在看，谢谢各位。啊，现在1比0的状态哈，应该还有机会啦。对面如果说可以快速的解决对手的对面的那个热刺山的话，我觉得最大问题其实是热刺山先解决其实还好，还要怎么解决是另外一个问题。
When Jeff goes first, he gets a little more breathing room to set up some of his Pokemon before he has the threat of that Garbo Toxin. So having that extra turn of buffer is going to be a big deal, and he's got to find a way to stop that Garbo Toxin. Guzma out those Trubbish as fast as you can, and just hope your opponent cannot disable your abilities. You mentioned Robin is undefeated. He does have one tie.
Yes.
But the last time we've seen an undefeated world champion was actually the very first world championships in 2004. Sugiyoshi Yamato went undefeated in the Swiss rounds and then won the world championships, and I don't believe we've seen that ever since.
对，现在这世界赛现在正在直播的部分，我是把它Twitch 的地方连过来这里，用转播用转的方式，然后大家现在看，边看我们一边来讨论一下，说这一场冠军赛的大家是双方是怎么样想的啦，或者是怎么样做一个实况解说。其实有些时候就会想要对这种实况解说，想做那种类似实况野球的那种方法。啊，他开了一发球出去啦，那种感觉。但是我觉得他真的是有点小智障，算了。
Jeff started off that game with 2 extra cards, but it did not end up mattering.
躺在床上一派轻松。我是说我。
Alrighty, we are getting set up for game 2 here in the World Championships between Robin and Jeff. Or do you think Jeff can make the comeback?
看下去，哇哦，他们 map 自己下去了哈。
The humanity. I think Jeff can do it. I think Jeff has already overcome so many odds.
我靠，2张 PP 冠进奖励，这个真的是有点小气。不过双方都有点那个哈。
A tough road ahead with 2 max elixir in his prize cards. Or I guess how many max elixir he plays.
Is it 2?
It's 2. Yes.
That's unfortunate.
He does begin the game with Mysterious Treasure, though. Getting a Psychic Energy in the discard pile. This is exactly how you want to start the game. Get those energy in your discard pile so you can Psychic recharge them with Malamar and start to power up your big attacking Pokemon like Necrozma GX or Marshadow GX. Looking good so far for Jeff.
Definitely being able to go first is going to give him an advantage in this one. Hopefully he can start getting out those Malamar and utilizing before Robin has the ability to get Garbotoxin online. But we'll have to see. Robin had the Bridget on turn 1 in the last game. If he can do that again, could be in a little bit of trouble.
And we see a lot of different variations of the Malamar deck. Some of them don't even play Bridget at all. He does not play Bridget, unlike a lot of these other decks at the World Championships, like we saw in Robin's deck, opting to play Lily instead. But he does start off with a Professor Sycamore, has 2 Inkay, and already goes straight for the Marshadow GX. So Jeff is going to be under a lot of pressure this game and force Robin to have some answers very quickly.
Yeah, the game plan from Jeff a little bit clearer in this game number 2 with that Marshadow already on the bench and beginning to power it up. We can see he's looking to take some fast knockouts with this, but we're going to have to see which Pokemon he decides to send to that discard pile to be able to utilize its attacks with Marshadow.
打对手一个手段哈，那个真的不能随便掉下去，掉了就会直接想哭，真的。OK， 下来第3只。好了哟哈。如果可以抽到主完的话就好了哈，直接开一张主完，就可以把那个洗回去，不然在手上。他现在应该会很想扣手牌，因为他现在手上有唯一他牌组里面几乎是唯一的一张吹风机跟2张古兹马，古兹马1张已经下去了哈，下去。OK， 他做的都做一样事情。OK， 他开始做一样事情哈。现在主播在说他必须要拿几张热色衫出来。这已经是冠亚喽，冠亚。我应该有在标题上写吧。看一下，我希望我有写，我今天真的是有点懵，不知道有我写在决赛上面哈，这是决赛 this， 决赛 this。
And then, of course, that Trashland Garboder taking some knockouts as well. So getting the 2 Trubbish online early.
其实我只想很想把之前8强跟4强的影片都一起拿出来，可以跟大家一起聊这个。但是我觉得现在没空，因为以前真的很忙。
We're gonna have the prize knowledge. He won't.
Yeah. So looking good so far for both players. We should have an excellent game 2 here in the finals. And a 3rd Zorua coming down as well.
You love to see a more even game state here, especially in the finals of the Masters Division World Championships. I would love to go to game 3 in this one.
Me too. Looks like Robin's going to pass the turn, and now it'll be on Jeff to make a move here.
进化还没有做之前，都可以现在做哈。可能那样。
He did Ultra Ball away one of those Guzma on the previous turn, and he only plays 3 instead of the typical 4. So he's going to have a hard time finding enough Kuzma in this game to constantly go after those Garbo toxin Garbo, and he might just have to attack the active in this situation.
那攻击对手那只还要再一下下，可能没有办法马上。国外是还没有出 SM8，SM8 应该是11月的事情。
Benched Marshadow. He can actually just use the full burst. 30 times 2 would have been a knockout on Zero, but you do want to get that second energy so you can threaten for bigger attacks. I think he's going to need to find. Well, there is a float stone. He will be able to attack if he wants to. He'll get a quick knockout, but he does put that Marshadow GX in danger.
他可能会先开脚踏车哈，道具量其实丢了有点多。
Take that revenge knockout on the Marshadow GX again. Last game we saw him with a Zoroark, a double colorless, a full bench, and a choice band, and that was enough.
Yeah, I mean that still does it. There are not enough item cards in the discard pile for Trashalanche to get there quite yet. But now with that float stone, Robin could also have the out of Trashalanche with Field Blower, discarding the float stone plus a choice band. That would get him a knockout, but this is a lot to ask for in the early part of the game.
好，对手现在也是很紧张，他手上有一张特性社会的3等下肯定是会把它锁下去的。OK， 好，上去了，马夏朵要准备上去了，要使用超梦的招式哈。
So Marshadow GX coming out using that Shadow Hunt ability to copy one of Mewtwo GX's attacks. And once again, Jeff gets the first knockout of the game.
通常这是会拿第一个 knockout 的哈，这是并不被怀疑。第一个 knockout 其实真的蛮容易是被拿到的，但是灰子山其实不用怕，就是做到了是我的，没做到就算了，没做到就会输。但基本上只要第二个锁起来了，那就锁起来了。对手就是准备投降。OK， 他开的是底阶哈。
See a second mysterious treasure as well, and you can see why Robin is playing 4 mysterious treasure in this deck and 0 Ultra Ball. If he had 2 Ultra Ball in his hand right here, this play would have been much more awkward. He would have just had to discard too many cards, and it wouldn't have been a very efficient turn. With mysterious treasure, he's only discarding 1 card at a time. He's able to search out Tapu Lele GX and then Garbodor, and still have cards to play, and then play a supporter card.
He's discarding 2 useless cards in this case. It's a double colorless that he can then attach. And he still needs to Sycamore into some very good cards. He needs a couple Zoroark or Evo Soda to get those Zoroark, but in a pretty solid spot now.
Oh, 他也进化了哈。2只都进化了。
All he needs is Zoroark GX and the choice band to take this knockout.
拼这一 turn 的做哈，需要一个头巾跟一个进化。我靠，这真的是有点顺到歪头。
See the first trade. What else does he draw into? A third puzzle of time. There is choice band, and he can float stone onto his Garbotoxin Garbodor. A perfect second turn from Robin Schultz. He's going to take a 2-prize knockout, lock down the abilities, and he is in firm control here. We might be seeing a world champion soon.
This is looking almost exactly like what happened last game. Bridget, turn 1, the Zoroark with the double colorless and choice band for the Marshadow knockout on turn 2. And even that Garbotoxin Garbodor is active. Jeff just has fallen so far behind so fast from what looks like an amazing and potentially game-winning start.
实体卡烧脑，我觉得线上卡也很烧啊。是你看着实体卡的时候，你头就痛了。
He finds a rescue stretcher to get that Marshadow GX. He does have Field Blower in hand, so he can get his abilities back this turn. Can he power up that Marshadow GX? A big attack he can use this turn if he's able to get Dawnwing's Necrozma GX in his discard pile is that Moon's Eclipse GX. You can only use it if your opponent has fewer prize cards remaining than you, and basically you get immunity to your opponent's attacks on the following turn. Can't take any damage, so that could be a huge swing in this game.
对面那个 由于真的是有点惨哈，打到世界赛，然后看到这个样子，实在是很让人心酸哈。OK， 索罗灰神竟然要拿到第1名。 他的机会就是在利用这个机会，能够再冲2颗人哈。OK， 他冲2颗人，要再来解决掉1只索亚克，试着用这种方法来追回这个情况。
He has 1 Malamar already with a Psychic Recharge, and I believe a Tapu Lele GX in hand, so this is going to be a great turn for Jeff.
We could see 3 energy on the Marshadow, bring that up, and then Psy Strike GX would be, that would just be 10 damage short, actually.
Well, ×2 for weakness.
There
it is many damage over what it needs.
OK， 他做了，他想去了。
Tapu Lele gonna wonder tag.
好，
What
我
does
的
Jeff
tag
go
等一
for?
下
He
抓
has
的
his second Field Blower in hand. With such a low hand size, he would love to just play Professor Sycamore, draw 7 cards, but he knows he cannot afford to discard that second Field Blower. A little bit unfortunate that he has both of them at the same time.
OK， 丢他太多东西了，这回是要开始，不太能多丢或者干嘛，一要算得很刚好，丢是很危险。这是股市嘛，这些东西就尽量不能让它消失，实在是非常痛苦。Yes.
Jeff still doesn't have the energy required to get a knockout on the Zoroark GX, so he'll need to find either a Malamar or a Psychic Energy just to keep up the pace in this game.
好，抽3张 ，OK， 抽到手上。不是抽3张，抽7，抽6。哦，对，猪栏 ，OK， 我看到了。
If Donwin's Necrozma is in his top 2 cards, we could see a pretty explosive turn.
他开始脚踏车哈。
Look at the top 2 cards, pick one, discard the other, and there's the Donwin's Necrozma.
He hits it.
Are you kidding me?
That is incredibly fortunate.
Wow, I guess that's why you play Acrobike.
Yeah, and he's playing 3 of them in the deck. Mysterious Treasure is going to get that second Malamar. Double Psychic Recharge onto the Marshadow, and Moon's Eclipse GX will be the knockout on the Zoroark and will provide protection for that Marshadow GX going into the next turn.
Jeff could not throw that Dawnwings Necrozma in the discard pile quickly enough. He does have this Mysterious Treasure trying to figure out what to discard, but we're certainly going to see a second Malamar at this point. Psychic Recharge onto the Marshadow, and Jeff is going to take a 2-prize swing. Now he'll be in the lead, and Robin actually has 0 Zoroark GX in play after this. And he's got a lot of cards, and a lot of good cards, but no Zoroark GX in play yet.
Jeff 这个拼得好，拼得漂亮。
We're going to see a lot of them next turn.
OK， 他抓了，再抓一只出来哈。
These respective decks can do.
Okay,
by turn 2, we had an ability lock, and we had trades active for Robin. And by turn 2 for Jeff, we've got a powered up advantage Marshadow, utilizing GX attacks from Dawnwings Necrozma. And a pair of Malamar on the bench to boot.
Picture perfect start from Jeff. And this is what it takes to get to the finals of the World Championships. Everything going smoothly. Here comes Marshadow GX once again using that Shadow Hunt ability to use a different Pokemon's attack in the discard pile. We are going to see Dawnwings Necrozma's GX attack, Moon's Eclipse, and Jeff goes down to 3 prize cards. And Robin cannot damage that Marshadow on the next turn.
啊，不能打马赛朵了。 不能打马夏朵喽！不过他可以杀敌，他可能是有机会，他会有机会杀敌。如果对这个 Jeff 的目的够的话，他就有可能可以杀他的。
Absolutely. And we actually see Jeff has another Field Blower in his hand. He's in such a great position. The only way Robin can take a knockout this turn is by playing Guzma. And that means he can't play N in the same turn. So Jeff's hand is going to be undisrupted. He's going to get 2 turns in a row to attack the Marshall, and we are going to see a very tight finish here in Game 2.
Robin did find the town map out of his prize cards, so his prizes are face up.
对，学异化异神 GX 的巨差哈。那学完之后哈，他就可以这一盒是无敌哈。OK， 看对手要怎么处理哈。
What's it gonna be? It's an N and a mysterious treasure in the prizes for Robin.
Well, that N is actually very important.
直播，
if he takes
我们美国那边的
because Jeff's going to respond
非常的
with a
激动
knockout.
哈，
Cora,
激动到不
I think
行
we are headed to a
激动紧
situation we have seen plenty of times, the old N to 1.
Old faithful, we can call it. Old, not going to be around much longer.
Yep.
But that N to 1 has won Robin.
现在说起来，看对手那个实在是头就很痛。
Top 4 against Clive.
This might be the last time we see N being played at the World Championships. Could go out with a bang. Looks like Robin's going to trade away an N he has in his hand right now.
哦，看到了一张。
City would probably just result.
而且还有平行。
Lele and that Inke being taken off of the bench for
probably Orangaroo. That's tough.
To get rid of that. That's a tough call.
The Inke has a float stone, which is pretty important.
哦，快睡着了，真的。
Lots of decisions to be made here for both players still. Robin does have those 2 puzzle of time in hand, so he can take any 2 cards from his discard pile, put them into his hand. We'll have to see what he wants to get here. I'm going to guess for sure a double colorless energy so he can attack with his Zoroark GX. Perhaps a second Zoroark GX to go with it. Well, looks like we see Mysterious Treasure. He does need to find Guzma this turn still.
Okay. Mysterious Treasure and Evo Soda. Evo Soda can get another Zoroark GX in play.
Okay.
So we're going to see the Evo Soda first, getting a second Zoroark GX. I wonder if Robin's just going to settle for using Trashalanche on this turn. Depending on how many item cards are in Jeff's discard pile, we could actually see Trashalanche knocking out Tapu Lele GX. And that would mean Robin is down to 2 prize cards, which would actually put him in a winning position. I'm just not sure how many items there are in Jeff's discard pile. I think he's played a ton.
No. I mean, we saw him with Mysterious Treasure, Acro Bike, Field Blower, Rescue Stretcher.
Finds double colorless energy.
There's certainly some items in there, but how many is the question. It looks like Robin's a man with a plan here, though.
We will find out what that plan is. I think this is 100% grabbing Tapu Lele GX for a Guzma to take a knockout on this turn. The question is, what does he go after? I guess we'll find out very shortly.
It's a tough call. Knocking out the Tapu Lele sets him up for a potential game-winning situation on the next turn if he can knock out the Marshadow GX.
看起来是不行哦。
Jeff's got Robin very likely on a 2-turn clock here. So Robin needs to set up his own.
All right, so you see Guzma and Robin is deciding to go with the Trashalanche Garbodor. And yeah, going after Tapu Lele GX.
Is it enough for a knockout though?
He also has that float stone in his hand.
看一下有没有8张哈，有没有空到8张以内？
There's a lot.
There are 10 items in the discard pile for Jeff. That means we will see a Trashalanche knockout.
应该是吧？应该是会这样。
This puts Jeff potentially
其实我不确定的，要试看看才知道，因为是先后问题。
Going to go down to 2 prize cards here, taking down Tapu Lele GX. He can find a way to take out the Marshadow GX on the next turn. He'll be the world champion. We'll see if Jeff can stop him.
All right, Mysterious Treasure and the Trubbish out of the prizes, leaving the N and the Zorua.
This might not be coming down to N after all.
No, Robin might not need it. Looked like he was pretty behind after Jeff.
现在对手非常困难 ，Jeff 非常困难。如果下一turn他做好了，那就会被打到冠军。
Trying to end Robin down to a low hand size. I'm not sure if he has one in his hand, though. He does have the second Field Blower to regain access to his abilities.
It also allows Robin to regain access to his trade abilities. However, if Jeff is looking at an end to 2 to potentially stall for some time in this game, he's not going to want to knock off that float stone.
We see Ultra Ball. Jeff. One of the problems here is his bench is a little clogged. Robin not playing parallel city
好紧张啊，很紧张啊。
was a pretty big deal. Jeff would have loved
如果只单杀一只的话，觉得很亏，因为他已经锁起来了。那现在状况只能硬杀，硬杀的话就不好处理，不好说，不好说。
A big GX for the following turn that doesn't rely on abilities. I just don't know if he'll have the resources to pull it off. We might be seeing him attack with Malamar for the knockout here. Then if Robin gets another Pokemon tool on that Garbotoxin Garbodor, the Marshadow GX will be rendered useless. Cannot use its ability any longer. So Jeff's going to have to find a creative way to give himself a chance in this game.
That is definitely a kicker there. Marshadow utilizes an ability to be able to copy basic Pokemon attacks from the discard pile. Garbotoxin shuts that off as well as
选手戴耳麦的用意其实是为了阻隔那个外面的声音，他们现在应该只听得到裁判的声音跟双方讲话的声音才对。
He can use Copycat to copy the Trashalange attack that was just used. That is the one prize Pokemon he can use to get this knockout.
所以哦，他现在用 Copycat 的，只是要现在拼到 Copycat 的，然后拼到2张要的话是有点困难。OK， 他接了。
Kind of seems like that's the case here, and I don't believe Robin has a tool in hand right now, but he certainly has a means to find it.
He's going to go for the Guzma right here. He's going to go after the Garbotoxin Garbodor.
Okay.
He's making sure he gets abilities on the next turn, and this is
smart.
Very interesting. Now Jeff goes to 1 prize card, but that means if Robin Schultz can find Guzma, he is the world champion. Robin looking through his discard pile, seeing exactly what he's used so far. He has one more Tapu Lele GX. He can Mysterious Treasure for it and win the World Championships.
One on the bench. None in the discard pile.
And of note, Robin plays 2 Guzma, 1 in the discard. This is it, folks. We see the Guzma in his deck.
Is the Lele there? It is.
Lele. 啊，天哪！拿到了2018年的世界冠军是 Robin， 好，然后拿到了那个。
Masters Division World Champion hailing from Germany. What an incredible performance from him. Congratulations, of course, go out to Jeff Polenk for making it to the World Championship Finals in his first ever appearance. But today is Robin's day, and he is your 2018 Masters Division World Champion.
We typically don't see a lot of emotion out of Robin, but I think the well is open. He's overcome with happiness. I mean, this is what you work for. This is what all the practice and playtesting goes into. He played perfectly, flawlessly throughout this weekend and earned this World Championship victory. Congratulations, Robin.
Absolutely, so deserving of the title.
Celebrate with his teammates. Oh, what a great feeling.
You love to see that.
You can see celebrating with his friend Tord Reklev. What a great group of players there.
That's absolutely fantastic. So supportive of their friend and teammate. And now he is the 2018 Pokemon TCG Masters Division World Champion. Zoroark Garbodor, such a powerful deck here right before the rotation, was able to win the North American International Championships, and even with Celestial Storm entering the mix, still setting itself apart and taking a win here at the World Championships.
Yeah, you see one by one former international champions coming up to congratulate him on his victory. You see Torrid, Stefan, Pedro, who is also a top 4 competitor at this World Championship. Everybody's just happy to see Robin Schultz get this victory with
都很痛苦，打那个真的很痛苦。
Really, it has been absolutely incredible. And going into the top 8, you know, it was really anybody's game. We had some incredible decks from right out of left field that potentially could have taken this World Championship title. But at the end of the day, it is Robin's to take. And that Zoroark Garbodor deck just putting up
好辛苦了，辛苦大家，我要海关了，当然去睡觉哈。好，那台湾这边下礼拜要打大师赛决赛哈，那大师赛决赛就到时候就请大家去看那边的实况喽。好，那么今晚就到这边，早点休息啊，早点休息哈，晚安晚安。